welcome to the biggest event of the season on the International Luge calendar. It's the 53rd FIL Luge World Championships here in Whistler, Canada. Hi once again, luge friends, luge family, and luge fans tuning in from around the world. It was a tremendous opening ceremonies last night held in the plaza in Whistler Village as they celebrated not only the native culture of this area, but the sport of luge with guest speakers, dancers, and of course the parade of athletes.
And to Luge Canada, who have been valued members of the community, bringing events to Whistler every year since 2009.
Luge fans came from all around the world, and parents and family members of so many of these athletes have made the trip to this beautiful location in the Coast Mountains along the Pacific Coast in Western Canada. Of course, the biggest cheers rang out for Team Canada, but a great crowd on hand braving very chilly conditions in Whistler.
Team Relay World Cup medals, 6 World Championship medals. In addition,
Team Austria, one of the favorites certainly coming into these World Championships, as Austria and Germany have dominated the podiums throughout the World Cup season, with a smattering of other podium positions being won by Latvia, Italy, and the United States. But we turn our attention to this brand new discipline, debuting for the first time at the World Championships, mixed doubles. That will be followed later this morning by the mixed singles competition. This is a fun one, and if you like the relay, you'll also like the mixed doubles and mixed singles competition. So we get set for a World Championship debut. All told, 163 athletes have come to Whistler. For the doubles competition, we'll have 12 teams taking part. Hi again, everyone. I'm Tim Singer. So pleased to be bringing you the live streaming coverage throughout the weekend here in Whistler. The first time the World Championships have been held here since 2013. This is actually a makeup competition. The Worlds were scheduled for 2021 here in Canada, but of course the pandemic made the trip to North America all but impossible for the luge world. But what beautiful weather as we get started here, and we'll take a look at these athletes now warming up, getting ready for the competition, and it gives me an opportunity to introduce my co-commentator for the first race this weekend. Making her broadcast debut is Team Austria's Barbara Ohlmeier. Barbara, willkommen.
Hello, it's glad to be here. I want to welcome everyone watching from Europe, and I hope we have a good race today and the whole weekend.
Now, you have been watching this brand new sport throughout the season. You have yet to take part in the mixed singles yourself, but tell people you know all about it. So tell a little bit about how this all unfolds, how the competition works.
The competition is, we know the actual team relay where all 4 disciplines starts, and now there's 2. The women and the men doubles go together, and both singles go together. The first has a normal start, the second one has an reaction start.
Right, the gate will open.
Yeah, you at the bottom you have to have the touchpad, and it's a bit behind the actual finish line, and you have to hit the bat to end your run.
And when you're going 120 kilometers an hour, even though that finish pad we'll see is in a long straightaway, it's not easy.
No, it will be a challenge.
Although those two guys make everything look easy. The last athletes you just saw, the two Tobys, Vendel and Alt, with 2 victories already in the races this season. So here's a good look at the Whistler Sliding Center, of course built for the 2010 Olympics, a memorable Olympic Games on this track. And some of the athletes who took part in those Olympics are still on the World Cup and World Championship Tour. We'll talk a little bit more about them in a little bit. But Barbara, we take a closer look at this track. And before we take the ride down, let's talk a little bit about, in your mind, the biggest challenges and characteristics of this track.
From lady starts and double starts, the most complicated corner is 12 because you have to get it pretty right to don't hit before 13. I think this combination is one of the most important parts, like this one. It's a bit of a chicane and it's the high speed what happens there. So every little kind of a mistake costs so much.
No question about it. That's what I've been hearing from the athletes all week, is they love the speed, but one mistake, big time problem. Take us down.
So this is from man start, so the speed is much higher than from ladies. This is curve 10, and in curve 11 it goes down, so the speed starts to rise. It's 12, 13, where I talked before, it's hard to get. 14, 15 isn't that easy because of the high speed, and I think in the mixed competition and in the whole team, it's very important to get good out of 16 because the pad is way behind the curve and it's not easy to get out straight.
Sure. During training, we saw a lot of sleds go back and forth, hitting walls even on that outrun. So a look at the weather conditions. It's been clear. It's been cold. The athletes love this, in fact. We've had so many seasons now where we've had rain or humidity or warm temperatures. Barbara, you've got to love this.
Yeah, we're so lucky this season we hadn't had a race where the conditions were really bad. But it's so cold today, it may not be perfect conditions either, because there's a point where it gets too cold for the ice to be that fast. But I think we'd be happy the weather's like perfect, and
Right.
yeah, we just can be happy to be in Whistler, have these conditions and have a great weekend.
And a beautiful view. You just saw there are no track records, obviously. The Canadians who will go first will set a track record because this is the first ever mixed doubles competition to be held on this track in the Whistler Sliding Center. So we're about a minute away from the start of the competition. I can tell you that the start list basically reflects what the standings are right now in the World Cup. There were 2 races, one in Lillehammer, one in Oberhof. Germany captured both of those races, not a big surprise, but it was actually Germany 2 and Germany 1. And one thing that's interesting about this is you can change partners. It's the team in Germany 1, Germany 2, Austria 1 that, for example, get the points, but the athletes can mix back and forth.
Like before the weekend, you don't know who's going with who. This weekend we had a qualifying before, because usually we take the results of the single races, but that's not possible if it's the first race of the weekend.
That's right.
So I'm excited to see where the speed is, which nations have a good speed and who perform the best.
So welcome to all of our viewers who have tuned in to watch live on YouTube. I see a lot of chat already, a lot of active chat. That's because for the first time this season, basically everyone is awake at a decent hour in North America and Europe. So you're enjoying getting the chance to actually sit up and watch this. Hello to Gordy, Josh, Caitlin, Rose, Ken, of course, a whole group of people tuning in as we're set to begin the 53rd Luge World Championships. Team Canada, the home team, will head things off. Devin Wardrobe and Cole Zajanski from nearby city of Calgary. This is their first race ever, right?
Yeah.
We didn't see them on the World Cup.
I'm so happy for Canada that they have a team now, because they long time they hadn't had a women's double, but now Betty and Kate and Kaylee, they managing to get down pretty well. I saw they had a lot of bruises because it's not easy,
That's
especially
right.
in doubles.
And just to qualify, this is certainly not this team's first World Cup race of the season. This is their first World Cup mixed doubles race. As we'll see them negotiate, they know this track well. They finished 4th here in the past on the World Cup. There's a look at the pad, and it opens, and it knocks that FIL logo off. But Beatty and Kaylee now on course, the young junior team for Canada.
Yeah, it's their first or second season together. They hadn't had that many runs, but I think they managed it pretty well. And Canada needs a women's double, especially if you look forward for the Olympics next year.
That's right.
It's so important. And they have a year to go. So that's corner 12.
So the two teenagers make their way across the traditional finish line. And a little bit of an issue there as they went back and forth. That could have been interesting, but they managed to hit the pad okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay. It's so hard to get out of 16 solid. And I think everything they win or earn today is just great for them as an experience too.
Have you tried doubles?
That's a funny story. Austria only has one women's double.
That's right.
And actually, we decided to try it, but my upper women just didn't feel it.
Okay.
We had a sled we wanted to try, but if it's not for you to be on the road the whole winter, you can't compete good, and you can't force somebody to do.
But you could have been the Wolfgang Kindl of women's Austrian
I could
luge,
have
right?
been, because I would definitely have done both.
Right.
But singles going pretty well, so I can complain.
Second up, we have Team Romania. Jitland and Serban will lead things off. Romania actually has brought two pretty good doubles teams onto the tour this season. So these two won the race off this week to take part in this event.
I think one of the problems can also be held in curve 9 there. The entrance is very important, because if you go in too early, it will be challenging out. So it's all, we had some pretty good training runs, and a lot because we had the official trainings week. Oh, that was late.
Right.
Before, so I think everybody had some runs to challenge and to learn.
The gate opens now for the veteran Raluca Stramaturaro, one of maybe the only woman in the World Cup, World Championship now that actually was competing here at the 2010 Olympics in Whistler. Raluca was, of course, in singles there. She's had some great results over the years in singles, teaming up with Mihaela Manolescu. And Raleigh has been fighting a bad cold all week.
Yeah, I heard a lot of athletes are a bit sick. Also, Jessica Dinghart also already has a bit of a cold. Yeah. Oh, that was a nice engine. Yeah.
No problem, but not a great time. 125.028. They're down safely, but a full second behind Team Canada. So it's nice to see Canada get a little love there for.
Yeah.
That may end quickly though, but.
Yeah, because Latvians going up next, so.
That's right.
But I don't really know where they left the second. But it's, the boys had a rough way to the touchpad. Maybe that's why.
That's right. And on balance, the Canadians, their track,
Yeah, it is.
How many thousands of runs, or at least
Yeah.
hundreds, they've had more than the
It's so
Romanians.
cool for them to have a race, such a big race at home.
Now the first of two Latvian doubles combinations in this mixed doubles event. Miklas Ševiks and Lukas Krasts is the bottom man. Ševiks has actually raced with a couple of different partners this season, but Lukas is his longtime familiar partner. I'm not sure whether he was injured.
He was,
Is that what
yeah.
happened?
I think something with his neck, and so they just changed him. If it works, but now he's back, and I think they feel a bit better together than with somebody else. It's so important, especially with doubles, to be a team where you can rely on each other, and that doesn't happen in 2-3 runs, that needs years.
I was chatting yesterday with the team technician, one of the coaches, Martins Mubenis, an Olympic medalist. And Martins, when he sets it up right, the Latvian sleds are as fast as anyone. And he was feeling good about the setup this week.
Yeah, they were fast in training too. They were in the same trainings group than we are, so had a direct contact with them.
Now Anda Upait and Zana Kaluma. Anda, another top athlete doubles who has raced on the World Cup with a number of different partners. And both of these athletes have also done singles.
Yeah, it's most, I would say most of the women's doubles did singles
Came from
before.
singles. And some, until I guess Olena backed out of singles midway through this season. She was the last one, right?
Yeah.
She was doing both. To the finish, well out in front, and by a margin of 38 hundredths.
I have to say that I expected a bit more.
A bigger.
Yeah, but it's good for the Canadians, and we'll see what the Americans show up next.
That's right. Yeah, that'll be another indication, because we've got an American women's doubles team about to come up that has been in the top 5
Every time, right?
every time. That the 2 times here on the World Cup. Do you think this is a better alternative to the sprint that has gone away, at least temporarily?
Oh, it's hard for me to say because I've never went to sprint.
Okay, all right.
But I think sprint would have been a good discipline for me because I'm
A little slower at the start.
a little slower at the start, but pretty fast on track. So it's hard for me to say.
For those just tuning in, the sprint was another discipline introduced in 2015, and that was traditionally the opening day of the World Championship. That has been replaced on the World Cup and the World Championships this year by this new mixed doubles and mixed singles format. So here's USA number 2, Zach DiGregorio and Sean Hollander. This pair did not race in the opening mixed event in Lillehammer, but finished 8th at the last one 2 weeks ago in Oberhof. They've been training well. It's the younger American doubles team that has had most of the better results this season, but Zach and Sean have had a great 2 weeks of training here in Canada.
Yeah, I think the American team was here in preseason too, so they had some good runs this season. Ashley told me in the preseason the track was completely different, but it's
That happens.
yeah, that can happen.
And sometimes it happens at the athlete's suggestion, and sometimes it happens against the athlete's
Yeah.
wishes.
Sometimes you come back after a year and it's completely out of track. Maybe it's easier, maybe it's harder. But the curves stay the same, at least.
So the Americans approaching the pad. Let's see what kind of advantage they give the doubles team. Nearly a quarter of a second. Siobhan Morgan, Sophia Kirkby, a number of podiums in the World Cup races this year. They've had 3rd and 5th place finishes in the 2 mixed doubles events. They've really become one of the best teams in the world.
They did. Because Austria, Germany and the Italians like dominating in 2. That's good to have they in there too. So not only 3 teams, but 4 or 5 competing and getting to the podium.
Smooth and a pretty big lead over Latvia. They did not open it up as much as I thought they might. But for the time being, USA has 1 team in the lead, another team still to come a little later on. We still have 2 Germany teams. We have the Italians, we have another Latvian, and of course, as Barbara mentioned earlier, only 1 Austrian, because are they developing another doubles team back home?
Oh, we tried to, but the next one showing up, they competed in the Youth Olympics last year. And so they're like the next generation coming up. I don't know when, because they have so much more time at juniors. I don't know if when they will come up to the national team.
Well, the USA in the lead. One thing we do know is the 1 Austrian doubles women's team we'll see in a moment is without a doubt the best in the world, probably the best sled in the entire World Cup this season. More on them in a moment, but now Team Ukraine. Igor Hoy, Nazary Kaczmar. They'll be followed by, right behind them, Olena Stechkev on the left, Alexander Molk on the right. There are some nations that aren't among the most powerful that come and go from week to week. But Ukraine, like Poland, Barbara, they're always here, racing every race, every discipline, every week.
They are, and it's cool that we saw they were on the podium.
Yes,
in the mixed.
That's right.
No, on the
team relay.
Team relay.
Yes.
So they are there if somebody is leaking.
Someone I was speaking to yesterday, one of the officials in the International Luge Federation, went as far to say as that was the best moment of the season in this sport, was Ukraine on the podium.
It's cool that team relay is always a highlight.
This is the famous Whistler finish curve. It's covered by shades right now, and they are having trouble. They managed to get that pad hit,
Yeah,
but they made it interesting.
It's hard if you get so many balls to even touch the pad, so that's good too.
Well, not a big surprise. They're behind the leading Americans, and they're quite a bit behind. This will likely be a 4th place. If Olena and Alexandra can keep it clean, they will still stay out in front of Romania, but trail the top 3. To the finish, Team Ukraine in 4th place, 1.8 behind USA 2. Barbara, when you are having problems on a track, and we all do, right? Do you get a sense, or do you even care how much time that'll cost you, or let the time just kind of figure itself out, clean it up, and or I ask that question because I think someone like Felix probably says, "Oh, I just lost 1500s."
Yeah, I can't say it. Like,
right.
I don't know how much it costs for me, and for me it's so much more important to get some clean runs, and if the runs are clean, the time will come.
That's right.
And I don't care if I hit the wall. It doesn't matter if it's 2
seconds lost or 2 hundredths.
Or 200ths, because
Right.
it's just time loss.
Right.
And if I will figure it out, the time will come back.
That's a good point. Although on that old women's start in Innsbruck, if you made a mistake on that start curve, you knew
You
were
knew
finished.
you were.
Here's Poland. Chmielewski and Kowalewski to lead things off. And again, we've got such a great showing of viewers. Our chat is active today on the YouTube channel. We see Canadians, we see Polish flags flying, Italy. Who else do we have here? We have Argentina. Wherever you're watching from today, just text in your country. Would be great. Ukraine, Anton's tuning in, watching. So
It's great to see so many Europeans watching.
around the
but
world,
it's
yes.
like a bit to 8 in the evening. It's a prime time program.
So Team Poland also trailing the USA. Pretty good job by Himlevsky, though, to get that pad. And now the gate opens up for the women's entry here in doubles. Nikola Domovic and Dominika Piepogowska. We've got viewers from the UK, from Canada, from Italy, from Mexico. This is great. USA. It's a curve area they call the 50-50 curve. That was a name made famous by the bobsledders before the 2010 Olympics, because they said you had a 50-50 chance of making it through okay. And this has been not uncommon. They did hit it. The clock stopped. It would not have stopped, right?
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. But for Poland, it's 4th place behind the USA, Latvia, and Canada.
Oh, they look hurt. It's hard if you had problems the whole week and then it's race. It's just the same. It's like frustrating.
Absolutely. And of course, everyone has to regroup because they would be the first to tell you this is a fun event, but probably their big races are still coming up tomorrow and on Saturday.
Yeah, it's like today. Even for the Austrians, it's a day more to try some stuff, because of course it's the world champs, but the single races are much more important.
Okay, we have viewers from Belgium weighing in now, in Switzerland. This is great. I'll do a count at the end of the day of how many nations are tuning in, watching the 53rd Luge World Championships. The doubles continues. Tim Singer along with Team Austria's Barbara Allemeyer. Hanna Prock will join in a little bit for the singles race. But now we've got the USA 2 still out in front. But any of these next 6 sleds would be probably expected to challenge, if not be on the podium.
Yeah, I think everybody can. It's just who's going to make the less mistakes.
Clean run, of course.
Yeah.
Search of the clean run. Nagler and Malaya lead things off. They'll be followed by the 2-time World Cup overall champions, veteran Oberhofer. This quartet in the 2 races this season have finished 6th, and then on the podium 2 weeks ago in Oberhof.
Yeah, they only have 1 mixed teams too, because the others, women double, decided to stay at home. Because it's just, they hadn't had that many runs.
In fact, Italy has had 3 different doubles teams compete in women's action this year. This is a tight race. They were trailing by just 9/1000ths of a second. Now we've got a very strong doubles team coming up, but only 100th now for Andi and Marion as they settle nicely and quickly back into the green.
Yeah, if it's so less, direction times is pretty important too.
Now we saw Siobhan Forgan and Sophie Kirkby give the USA the advantage earlier. We were a little surprised that it wasn't bigger, but perhaps this track isn't as fast as we thought it would be, because the Italians are falling a little bit further behind. This is still close though.
Still close, they managed to stay the same.
They're running out of track though. This could be tight, and they lose a little bit more. Andy looks pretty excited though. So sometimes with all of you athletes, Barbara, even if you see a 2 or a 3 when you come up the outrun, if you know you did everything you could do right, you're happy.
And if like I said, if the trainings runs were like bad and you had a good run, you're happy too. You have to take everything you get, and if the run's clean, the time will come too.
Saw a great look there at Tony Agert, trackside, one of the greatest World Cup and World Championship lugers ever. He did not qualify on the very powerful German program to race today, but we'll see Tony tomorrow in search of another World Championship. He has more than anyone in the history of doubles luge. On we go with this competition, mixed doubles. Continuing from Whistler, the United States leads over Italy and Latvia, and another USA team is getting ready at the top. It's the young team that made it onto the podium in their first ever World Cup weekend.
They do so great this season. I'm so happy for them to compete even with their own
That's right.
team. Yeah.
Marcus Mueller and Ansel Haugshaw. Now, they came here with good credentials, having won the Junior World Championship last year. But opening weekend, not only did they have a great weekend, ending up on the podium in mixed doubles, I believe they set a track record, or at least had the fastest run in the second heat in the Lillehammer. So a team to look out for sure.
Yeah, and they have so many more world champs to go. Like
And a lot of lessons to learn.
Yeah.
It's not going to all be easy.
No, it can't be always.
As I mentioned earlier, it's their more senior teammates, Zach and Sean, who have trailed them most of the season, but Di Gregorio has been very fast this week, and as you see, the team on the ice now falling a bit behind.
They are. That wasn't clean either. Oh, it was a huge skid. There wasn't a clean run.
Yeah, they were not liking the center of that track for some reason, and they're still having troubles.
Yeah.
So they gave away a ton of time. So you called that, Barbara. I didn't pick up all of the mistakes, as we see Maya Chan and Sophia Gordon, brand new to the World Cup. Sophia Gordon teaming up now with the veteran Maya Chan. They joined the tour in mid-season. And I guess it's a case of if you have too many even little mistakes, they'll add up.
Yeah, for sure. Like, that's 11, and the men's doubles hit before 13, and now skidded into 14 there. That was way too high in the end.
So Chan and Gordon will conclude the action for the United States. Not only did they not challenge their other teammates, they don't even come close.
No.
So right now, the USA sandwiches the rest of the field in first place, and in 8th place. Of the 8 teams we have seen come down, 4 remain.
For them too, it's hard to compete with Siobhan and Sophia, because they just have so much more experience in women's doubles. But maybe it's good for them because they can help each other to build them up. Way too high there.
Which curve?
At 13.
Well, that's
Too
telling
early,
you right there.
14, and then you see.
Oh, yeah. Most activity we've seen so far early in these World Championships. It won't be the last of the issues.
Yeah, and they have a high speed of 120, 30 something kilometers per hour.
Right,
It's,
amazing.
yeah. If the sled is one time out of control, it's hard to get it in line.
So
again.
many people have told me that, Barbara, that this is the fastest track, and you can maybe make a few mistakes early that'll cost you time, but if you start to make a mistake on the bottom third of the track, that'll cost you a lot more than time.
It's so hard to get it in line correctly again.
You're looking at the best team in the history of doubles luge, bar none. The 2 Tobys, Tobias Wendel, Tobias Alt. They have been racing together for 20 years. They have won everything there is to win, including 6 Olympic medals, 10 World Championship medals. That's more than anyone. And here they look to continue their resume, racing better than they ever have, perhaps, having won the last 3 World Cups.
Yeah, they won't stop winning.
It's amazing.
It is.
Not surprising, the 2 Tobys are in the green already.
No, they had some start records this year, so I wouldn't expect less.
Amazing. Both 37 years old. They've won each of the 2 mixed doubles races this year with 2 different partners. They were with Heitberger at the first race, but with Jessica and Cheyenne, who we see right here, to win in Oberhof. And you said Jessica's been sick as well.
Yeah, she was. Yesterday she had her mouth covered. So.
These are former world champions. They took the title in 2023 in women's doubles. I believe actually 2022 and 2023, the first two ever women's doubles world championships.
Only 504. That's not much at all.
No, so it does give us an indication that Siobhan and Sophie had a great run. They should hang on here because it's good driving down at the bottom. They do by about 600ths. So Barbara, they don't pick up much time down at the bottom,
No.
but they didn't make any mistakes.
But we have to expect the races to be so close because it's a very short track.
Very short track.
Only 38 seconds from women's start. So it's going to be in the hundreds of seconds.
And those of you who are unfamiliar with the racing here in Whistler, the starts were originally higher, but then following a very well-known tragedy in 2010, they moved the starts for all of the disciplines down. And there's talk that maybe, especially the women, Barbara, that maybe the women could come back up to the higher start. But when you want to have a fair race, it's a tough call. A safe race versus what the best are capable of. So I know there are athletes in women's singles who even have trouble with the lower start.
That's true. And for me, it's all before my time.
That's
I
right.
started sliding in 2013.
So
Most of them were sliding
Right.
or winning even, if you look at both Tobys.
It's amazing. Yeah, they were among the rare athletes here. Maybe the only ones in doubles that did compete briefly, but they didn't make the 2010 Olympics. So I think they probably have never been at that higher start either. But here we go with the final three now. This is for the podium. Germany 2 leading the way. We have the Latvians, the Austrians, and then the other German team. So here are Martin Spatz, Roberts Pluma. They, with the women standing behind them, have competed together in both races this year, with a second place podium in Lillehammer and then a sixth in Oberhof. This is a very fast starting team here.
Yeah, and the girls have such a great season too. They're like very young also, so it's just so great for them to see how fast they can get.
Trailing the Tobys by 500ths. You really can't hope to be in the green after catching the Tobys. You can only hope to keep it close, and it still is pretty close.
It is close. There was a late entrance, but they came out pretty good.
Right, late into 16, okay, out of 16, but 1600ths is a lot
Yeah,
for
that's a
these
lot.
two women. Marta Robanica, Katya Bogdanova.
That's nearly impossible.
As you mentioned, they're very young, but they've been on the podium in 3 or 4 races over
Yeah,
the
they
last
have
couple of
such
years.
a great season already, but they losing against Degenhardt Rosendahl, but I would say it's fair.
They will likely now fall behind both Germany and the United States. And they could also be behind Italy. So at this point, they're trying to catch their teammates, the other Latvian team. Not even a perfect line up the outrun,
Oh,
but Marta handles it okay, hitting that. So the Germans stay out in front ahead of USA
they
and
have
Italy.
a podium, right? Yeah.
It's a podium for sure for Germany too. That's a big surprise, isn't it, Barbara?
No.
Germany on the podium at a world championship? I'm being a
It
little
would be a
sarcastic.
surprise if there's not.
That's right. But your nation certainly spoiled the Germany party in Altenburg last
Yeah,
year.
last
at
year
the World
was pretty
Championship.
good, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how we handle it this year, but we will see.
Well, we will see in about 20 seconds, Barbara, because it all begins with the first and only entry for Team Austria. Here in the mixed doubles, Austria has been the most dominant nation in the sport this season, as they were at the World Championships last year. And getting ready at the top, the team of Thomas Stoy and Wolfi Kindl, together with Egla and Kip. They finished a disappointing 8th at the opening race in Lillehammer. And then they came back with a podium in Oberhof. You see Jessica there with the jacket on.
Yeah,
She's
it's so
fighting for
cold.
cold. And Steuer and Kindle.
Yeah, first race of the weekend's always kind of exciting because you don't really know if the setup's right, and it's just an indicator for the whole team to know we're on the right path.
And when you talk about first race of the weekend, here's some possible history for all of you. Wolfgang Kindle, the man on your left right there, could race in as many as 5 events this weekend. Mixed doubles, mixed singles, World Cup or World Championship doubles and singles. He's guaranteed all of those. He could also potentially be on the relay team. And he could be on the podium in every one of those races. That's how solid Wolfie is, despite being a little bit injured.
Yeah, but in mixed singles he didn't qualify.
Oh, he didn't qualify.
No.
Okay, thanks for correcting me like that. The Glacier brothers.
Both.
We'll
yeah.
see them in a few moments.
They had a
right?
race from women's start, and it was so close, but they two glaciers just show how good they are.
Well, Austria has had 3 teams in doubles win World Cup races. It's had 4 men win World Cup races. So that's how deep this country is. But they are trailing Germany right now. They're trailing the Tobys, but they kept it very close. And you're looking at the best team, bar none, in the world this year in the sport of international luge. Egla and Kip have all they've done is win the last 6 World Cup races in a row. Now trailing Jessica and Cheyenne by just a little bit, I would guess.
Yeah, maybe the start isn't where they are best, but in the track they are so fast, and when the track gets longer and longer they get even faster. So we could expect them to gain.
And there you have it, 9,000ths of a second now, separating Germany from Austria. Austria now in the green. They look to pick up where they left off in last year's World Championships.
Oh, nearly a 10.
Selena and Lara have been unstoppable. Now we've got a good, strong German team still to come, but I ask you, Barbara, as their teammate, what is it about them that just turned a corner this year? I mean, they've been good. They won the World Championship last year, but they have been. No one's been able to touch them this year.
These two are just so confident with each other. They can rely on each other that much. And you can see how Selena's sliding. It's just everybody can pick up something from her. And even in women's doubles, they started actually before the 2020 Youth Olympics, so they had a really long way to go.
Selena's parents came all the way over from Austria to watch this year's World Championships.
Yeah, we have a lot of Austrian parents here.
Amazing. And Madeline was saying their mother has never been to North America, let alone Whistler.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So here we go. Austria in the lead, Germany number 2, USA in 3rd place, potentially on the outside looking in because we have one more still to come, the top seed at least this week.
You see Lara and Selena just gained
So
1/10 of a second. It's so much.
Amazing. So final team, as I mentioned, the top seed, but this is the team, the first to go, Orlamunder and Gubitz. They've had great results all year, but they're still somewhat untested on this Whistler track. So this will be interesting to see. They'll be followed by Diana Eitenberger and Lena Machina to conclude this World Championship mixed doubles race.
I'm so nervous right now.
Yes.
Because it's the first race, and just especially who's winning, it would be so great. Because you know the team is there, the conditions are right for your steals. It's just working together.
Orlamunder and Gubitz making their first big statement that they want to be part of this strong German Olympic team next year. They've opened it up now on Mueller or on Steuer and Kindle.
Oh.
Did they have a problem there, did you see?
I don't know. It was very close to the wall, but I don't know if they hit.
800s. Now here's Diana Eitenberger, the last in today's race of the women's singles great medalist who transferred over to doubles. This is a new teammate for her this year. Eitberger and Machina. They won the race in Lillehammer with the Tobys, but they're falling behind the Austrians midway down.
But they were so fast in seated training yesterday. I don't know what to expect. It's going to be so close.
It is so close. 200ths of a second separating Austria and Germany for the first World Championship of the weekend.
It's going to be so close.
They stay just 200ths behind, but Germany puts 2 on the podium, and Austria picks up where it left off at last year's World Championships in Altenburg. Gold medal #1 here in Whistler to Team Austria.
It's so great. It's like 18 thousandths of a second. It's like nobody can relate to how close that is.
That is amazing. The best we can relate, and we've heard this in the past, it differs from how long the track is.
Yeah.
But that's not more than a meter or so.
No.
Maybe considerably less.
Yeah, it is, for sure.
And that's after not 1 run, but 2 runs, the men and the women.
Yeah, we saw it yesterday in seated training with the women. It was so close in, I think, 5 sleds into some hundredths of a second. And there was only 1 run.
Congratulations to Austria. One of our viewers, by the way, writing in, wondering what the exact results are. We will flash those up in a second, but if you go to FILLuge.org, you can always get live results as they are happening. So that's a good way to follow the race while you're listening to Barbara Allmeyer's expert analysis. That was a fun one for you to watch, wasn't it?
It was so exciting. Because as a teammate, of course you're nervous for them too.
Here are the results. Look how close it was. 18 thousandths of a second separating Austria from Germany 1. Germany 2, and the Tobys end up in 2nd place. USA just off of the podium in 4th. That seems to be sometimes a common place for the USA as they'll look to hop onto the podium at some point this weekend, as will Italy, who ended up in 5th. The Latvians, Canadians, 7th and 8th. Good showing, especially for Team Canada, competing at home, but for the first time ever in this brand new discipline of mixed doubles. Not a bad showing, just falling behind, but I think Diana and Lena have to be somewhat happy with that.
Yeah, they are. You see, they had such a rough season. And for them to be on the podium at the World Champs is great.
Diana, for her, it is her 4th, I believe, podium, or 3rd podium in the history of the World Championship. She took 2 bronze medals in singles to go along with her Olympic silver medal. Stoy and Kendall, they just keep plugging away. I mean, you mentioned early in the race about, you know, a partnership, and it takes time to get to know someone. But they paired up last year, and all they did, Barbara, was win the World Cup overall title.
Yeah, they are just special. They are completely different from each other because Wolfie is like a really sports person. He's into it, and Stoy is just a relaxed guy sometimes, and you don't really know where he takes all this power from.
Right.
So I think they're a good pairing.
So the teddy bears are being handed out by International Luge Federation President Einaras Fogelis. We've got teddy bears, we've seen bunny rabbits, we have seen flowers.
Snowmans.
Snowman. If remember when you won the Nations Cup race in Lillehammer?
But there was no.
There was chocolate.
There was.
But maybe that was just in the World Cup
Yeah.
weekend where you finished just off of the podium. Oh, you missed out on the chocolate. Yeah. What was fun, Barbara, about this race is that we really couldn't predict things. Sometimes you know halfway down, well, this is going to be the lead, or they're falling behind, but we weren't quite sure, and I love that about this track.
It is because it's so short. It can happen in the bottom part. It can happen so much, and I don't know if the camera angles are that great to see everything, but sometimes you just miss out on things.
There's no doubt about it. Well, we're looking to get some interviews if possible. You're looking at 12 happy athletes right now. We're not going to hear from them all. No World Cup standings, obviously, to flash up in front of you, but I can tell you that the Austrian team that won the World Championship, they came into this race in 3rd place in the World Cup, so they won the race that mattered, and that's all they'll take away. There will be one more mixed doubles race, and that is at the next World Cup in Pyeongchang. Have you raced on that track?
No, I've never been to both tracks in Asia, so it is exciting. But it's less pressure for us. Because if you're there the first time, there's no pressure.
So we're looking to get some interviews from the winners. We have a special treat for you. See if you'll recognize this guest interviewer who you have seen in years past. Coming up in just a moment. Stand by. We'll know when you know, or you'll know when we know, when we hear from the winners. So 3rd place, once again, Germany 2. 2nd place, Germany number 1. And this quartet of powerful Austrians, Stoy and Kindle, along with Egla and Kip. These 2 women have been the best in the world all year. They're the best in the world here at the World Championships.
Yeah. It's exciting to watch them tomorrow.
It sure
I
will
am
be.
excited.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
too?
You know, and it's somewhat stressful because it's the World Championship, and in women's doubles especially, what we're hearing is only 11 spots will be available at the Olympics. So let's go down in a second here. We're getting the word. Great crowd on hand. Mixed singles coming up in just a moment. Smiles all around for Austria, and now we'll go down and hear from the world champions with our special guest interviewer.
Stoy Kindle, how does it feel to be world champions and the first time doing the mixed event?
Amazing. It's our first ever gold medal together. Last year we got 2 second medals. It's an unbelievable feeling, and we can be grateful and proud. And thanks for the ladies, and thanks to all our coaches and friends for supporting us.
Cool. And Wolfie, how did your runs go today?
So, yeah, the run was really good. I think we did our best run the whole week. Was really a great performance, I think. Out of finish curve could have been a little bit better. Was a small mistake, but I think...
Doesn't matter anymore. World champions.
And the ladies did a great job too, so I think the performance of all of us, it was just great. And yeah, it's great to be world champion together.
Amazing. Congratulations, guys.
And 2 Olympic medalists, Stoy in doubles, Kindle in singles. They are world champions along with the defending women's doubles world champions, Egla and Kip, as the Austrian flags celebrate a world championship. And of course, that was the voice asking the questions of FIL studio host, Kate Hansen. You can see Kate's features throughout the World Championship on the YouTube channel. Our thanks for watching. We've got more interviews still coming up. Let's hear from the Germans.
In front of them, but yeah, all in all, our first World Championships medal, and the feeling is so excited.
And how did training go versus your race run today?
Yeah, same. I hope that we can take these good results for the races tomorrow. And thank you that you say I'm with the youngest. I feel very good with this. Yeah.
Amazing. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Germany. And by the way, you'll hear Diana's humor tomorrow as she joins me, or later today, actually. No, tomorrow for the women's singles competition. And we'll still wait for one more interview. Our 3rd place finishers from Germany, number 2. Barbara, this is an easy competitive day for you, right?
Well, for me,
No training, no racing?
Just some commentating and relaxing.
Yeah, and celebrating now that Austria's
Celebrating now.
won a world championship.
No, today we don't celebrate. We'll celebrate tomorrow
I'll
after my race.
I'll tell you what, folks, we're going to step aside, and we may get the German interview still, but either way, we will be right back here in just about a half hour for the men's and women's mixed singles competition. So don't go away. And Barbara, thanks very much. Great job.
Thanks for having me.
In your first time. We've got the German interview coming up right now.
All right, our bronze medal winner, congratulations today. How are your runs today?
Difficult. Yeah, the toe is not the best in the 11. We are 2. It's very cold. We are happy to be here. Jessie is sick, and we are very proud of the bronze medal.
Very cool. And how was the ice? How does the ice feel for you?
Oh, cold. Very cold. It's slippery a little bit. Yeah.
Well, congratulations anyways. Bronze, Cheyenne Rosenthal, thank you.
Thank you. Yes. So we can't do anything in German.